Welcome back to the News from the Real World podcast. I'm Quinn.
I'm Jody.
And Atitra.
And Jody, you're starting off this segment with a little article of our very own Jackson Gallagher.
Yeah, so
Yay.
this is exciting. Jackson Gallagher, he's a senior this year, leaving us. But he was lucky enough to go to the Super Bowl, being a huge Seattle fan.
It was his day.
Way to go, Jackson.
Yeah.
We're really excited for you.
Well done. He was wearing around his stupid beanie all week. Did you see that?
I did. I did.
Reading
So this article is called How 82,529 Hats Became a Video Screen for Super Bowl. Oh shit, is that 43? 58?
I can't read Roman
numerals.
I think it's 48.
48? I can't read, period. It's fine. Alright, so I'll start over. How 82,529 hats became a video screen for Super Bowl 48. Editor pick from livedesignonline.com by Jackson Gallagher. Alright, so basically, this article was about, the reason why your Super Bowl ticket is so expensive is because when you get to the Super Bowl, you get a goodie bag.
You get a goodie bag.
You get a goodie bag, and inside the goodie bag for every attendant in the stadium was, gloves and a scarf and probably like some magnets and stuff. But there was also this beanie, this hat, and this hat had 3 LED lights on it, with like a special receiver in it, basically.
Yeah.
And it was an infrared receiver.
And it said you weren't supposed to open it till halftime, but Jackson was sneaky.
It said you weren't supposed to open it till halftime, but thank you, Jackson, for getting the inside scoop. So basically, they had sensors. They had these signal relays set up around the stadium, and during the Super Bowl halftime show, they were sending out infrared signals to these hats, and everybody wearing the hats, and it looked like projections onto the crowd.
Like the giant, the largest LED screen ever.
Yeah, the largest LED screen ever. And, if you watched the videos that went with this, it was actually pretty cool.
It was. I didn't even realize that's how. I thought, they've just
projected stuff.
They've just put a CGI on the screen.
Yeah.
It's like, that's.
But think about it, you would need a really powerful projector to do that. So this is probably far more efficient, I guess. I don't know.
Amazing.
But thanks, Jackson, for writing an article that I could technologically understand. So props to you for that.
Very, very cool.
So this brought up some points. So this made me think about a couple things. How much did this cost?
Yeah.
Not only for the technology and the invent of the technology, but the sheer volume of the amount of product you would need. And
what was the name of the company? Pixmob?
Pixmob.
Yeah,
and
I guess they pitched it to them.
Yeah, I think it was a company based out of Canada, and with some, a couple of guys from MIT, of course, and they were talking about they sort of talked about a contingency plan for battery failure and stuff like that. And, he even talked about the lack of rehearsal time and the lack of dark time that they had.
They had to do it at night to set up. They had to tech at night.
And even then, the NFL didn't really want to let them turn the lights off.
Yeah.
So that they could, rehearse this.
Yeah, because they were still doing stuff to the stadium, getting rid of snow because it's snowing.
It's gross.
Before, and, and they...
And that's a safety thing, so it's important, It's hard to combat with. But another thing that I really liked about this idea was the way it encourages audience participation, and more like, I think that's really, really cool. Like, not only did I go to the Super Bowl, I was a part of the Super Bowl,
Right.
It's
so cool.
That is so cool.
What did the readers think?
The readers, so I've got a comment here from Akiva Krauheimer. I would like to see how this technology could be adjusted to create screens that don't have to be in a single place. For example, if you took the chips in these hats and let them float around in a pool or get moved around on stage, would they still be able to create a single controlled image without any extra work? And I think he brings up some great points in that, in the idea of where can we go next?
Right.
Clearly there's an achievement here in volume and scope, but what's the next step after how big it is?
Indeed. Well, they were talking about, isn't Kinect also trying to look at this technology too? Microsoft Kinect.
Cool.
Yeah, I believe so. We'll talk about that.
Well, Apple better get in quick before Microsoft does.
Yeah, exactly. Well, congratulations, Jackson. Wonderful article. Thanks for contributing this week. Moving on, we have there was a little video made. This is from Vimeo.com. It's a student pick, and it was a video uploaded by Frolock entitled "The Gap" by Ira Glass. So Ira Glass, This American Life host.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He had this talk that this I guess fan came up with this whole shot this whole video using Ira Glass's talk about creativity as the narration for it. What'd you guys think of the video?
I mean, it was cute.
Yeah.
I didn't find it particularly moving or thought provoking. I think I didn't read too many of the comments by readers, but I would imagine I would probably stand alone in my opinion.
Well, it's oftentimes we get the creativity articles every week, and this is another thing about how you, as a creative person, you have to just keep hacking at it and trying and creating more and more, because it's a long process of.
I like the notion that it's taste, like your own good taste, is what keeps you from being dissatisfied. I like that's a very sweet and comforting notion. But I think also there's just kind of this eternal commitment to self-improvement and to be better and overachieverness that would make you never satisfied with your art.
Oh, it says Martha Graham calls it's the profound dissatisfaction.
Yeah. And there's got to be room for that too. I guess maybe there's a balance, there's a spectrum, because there's the world's not black and white anymore. Fine, but I don't know. It was a sweet. I liked the graphics in the video. Like it was a sweet,
kind of
the
simple
little screen
and
print
sweet.
thing. Yeah, it was cute.
Kind of taking these mundane snippets of mostly like kind of everyday life, be it office work. Home.
Yeah, I liked the word carved into the cucumber, like or zucchini when you open to the fridge. Like that was this word. I forgot.
I liked ambition written in the mirror, and the guy laying down in bed.
It's pretty simple but sweet.
Yeah. Well, Cameron Kearse writes, "This is really motivational. As an actor, I could say that I'm definitely not satisfied with the type of work that I am doing, and I sometimes forget that it is going to take a while for me to get to where I want. The way they incorporated operative words into the media was amazing. After watching this video, it gave me the feeling of keep going and don't give up." Well, there you have it.
And that was the point.
Glad it inspired you,
good
Cameron.
job. Yeah.
Atitra, this was actually, I thought, one of the most interesting articles of the week, because this is something I had no idea about the video gaming industry.
What I would feel like is really related to us at some point,
Yes,
right?
yes.
After we read it, it was like,
That's right, you guys.
So like this is like the article's name is Inside the Video Game Industry's Culture of Crunch Time by Joshua Rivera, and this is an editor pick from fastcollab.com. So they say like video game industry seems to have the way that the other industry haven't in terms of how they work. So what he says that we had a survey which say that most of the game developers say that when it comes to crunch time, which is almost like
all the time, because they're always in production and development.
They say like 52% of those surveyed put in between 40 to 60 hours work weeks during crunch period, and 32% they put in 61 to 80 hours or more.
And of course, this is having an adverse effect on home and relationships and personal life,
right?
And probably health too.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, only like 1% say like they got positive impact from working this hard, while like 50 and 28% say it's negative and very, very negative. So like it affects all the like relationship, affect their health, affect that, and especially when like they start saying that, because they're like the interview with one game developer, and he said something like, so we came to the office from 9 o'clock every morning, and we leave, depends, 10, 11, 12, 1, and then
back at 9 in the next morning.
And back at 9 the next morning. And what we do during the day is that, okay, we send an email like, okay, somebody has to order food, like we start from lunch like twice a week, and then you start to like add up some more and more and more.
And there's
like,
no weekends.
There's no weekends.
Yeah, come in on Saturday and often Sunday too. What I found interesting about this article is that the video gaming corporations, they know that this is the culture of their industry, and they will, if they'll just litigate it. If anyone wants to bring litigation to them, they have enough money and legal power to just
Yes.
Keep going.
keep going.
It's
keep
like
going.
it's perpetual. It's perpetual.
completely.
So I wonder how much of this is global. I'll be honest, because I know that part of game development is not strictly people who play those games are not strictly here. And I have a friend who plays video games, who gets paid to play video games for a living because he like.
Yeah.
But you know he's got a weird sleep schedule because he'll sleep from like 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. because he's got to be up to play somebody halfway across the world at like 9 p.m. So I wonder if that's part of the reason why they don't get days off and stuff like that, because they're developing like globally in a way that if between New York and LA there's just a time there's just 3-hour time zone.
The gaming industry really took off in the East.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Japan and China.
Yes.
So
Yes, definitely.
So that's really where.
And it's like, what, like 10 hours time difference? So that makes sense. You're
14, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I found it kind of eye-opening how the industry works, and that anyone that's basically, you have bad working conditions on some level, and anyone within the industry is afraid to speak up because they know the industry is
They
small,
can't,
those jobs
yeah.
are very sought after.
Yes.
They need to unionize.
Yeah, they need
They
to
need to
unionize.
stay. They need to continue
So that-
working.
They need the
Yeah.
DGA. They need the
Welcome to
writers.
our culture.
Yeah, we need to
Exactly.
unionize too.
No, if you calculate it, it was like, I was calculating like, okay, we work about 40 to 60 hours too.
That's right. What do the students think?
We got some comments. This is from Carolyn Mazuga. Said, this is interesting to hear about crunch time cases in areas of entertainment other than theater. Maybe it is that I imagine video game development going on in office that I hadn't really considered how they handle the crunch time. However, I can definitely see clearer now how it affects them. I'm still curious though as how entertainment companies finally decided to push an opening back. This doesn't happen often, but it does happen. So how severe is it? The crunch time before opening is pushed
Yeah.
back.
One's
She
gotta
makes
wonder.
a point. We can't push
Terrible.
back
We can't
opening.
push back
No,
opening.
no.
We can't push back
No.
opening. She
Yeah.
makes a good point.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Alright,
Jody.
moving
So speaking of crunch time,
Well, this is the list article of the
Here
week.
we go,
It's
the
all
list
stuff.
article.
What's the list this week?
Time
the list
management.
this week is work smarter, not harder. 21 time management tips to hack productivity. This is a student pick from creativitypost.com by Jordan Bates. And basically, it was a list of 21 common sense things that you do to get your shit in on time.
Have you ever done that?
Procrastinated? Of course.
Of course, who hasn't?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course I have. I'm not saying, guilty party of one right here.
Yeah.
Not ashamed. But you know what? I just feel like, so obviously don't think of the comprehensiveness of your list. Focus on one or two things and eat right and get your exercise. They say a 20-minute workout is like 4% of your day. That, everyone's just full of excuses. Again, guilty party of one right here.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
What
it's
do you
pretty
think?
common sense, but like I could get that. There's like some group of people who can like who has to like I have to work, especially when they're kind of like in some environment where everybody like have to work or they push to work all the time. Sometimes they just like forget to do this thing.
Well, you got to see it from the this article is written from the perspective of a writer, and
Yeah.
it's so easy to just kind of like
Okay,
get up
do
and
this.
not like get to work because you're kind of self-employed.
Right.
Yeah.
And he says that too. He
makes
says
writing
my
a habit.
work is make writing a habit. And I think that there's a degree of like each person has to find a system that works for them. You have to find you have to listen to your body and sleep when your body tells you to sleep. And okay, so I'll move on to my quote from Ben Bigman. He says, "I like that the theme of this article was to streamline your process during each individual day. It's not about maxing the amount of things you do, but making your time count. one quote that really resounded with me was, each day identify 2 or 3 tasks that are most crucial to complete and do those first. Once you're done, your day has been a success. And for me, when I was a junior in college, like my MO was accomplish 5 things a day, you know?
Yeah.
And on a bad day, getting out of bed, that totally counted. But like now, I usually accomplish 5 things by noon, and I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
You know, so just like each,
Absolutely.
you know, each person just has to come up with their own thing, and
Yeah.
you know, I'll bet you, if we went into 33, I could be like, hey guys, let's come up with a list of like 25 time management things, and everybody would come up. There'd be some overlap, but everybody would come up with something different. You know,
True.
Well,
it's a
there you
personal
have it.
thing.
You just need to find your own
Work.
system.
Well, as the article says, work smarter, not harder. CMU. And
So
that
people listen to this,
So-
please.
We should plug the celebration.
celebration. What am I?
Centennial.
We haven't even brought it up.
Oh,
It's
yes.
a centennial this weekend.
This
A lot of people have been working
Saturday.
very hard to get this big sign that says 100 lifted above the lobby. There's lots of light. There's going to be a big light show. It's going to be a
some
lot
media.
of fun.
I think I have some media friends who've been busy
Is
hiding
it
under a rock. So it only happens once every 100 years. I don't know.
So I'm not gonna be at the next one.
100 years,
So
no.
party it up, CMU.
But I hope 100 years from now they play this video.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see us saying
Break-
about this.
Break a Love, cast and crew of Wild Party.
Indeed.
And
We'll see you next week.
we'll see you next week. We love you, CMU.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh.
When you have to get your creepy, like, these are my ladies.
Yeah, that's right.